In the Cinnabar Island Pokemon Center, Bill is indeed waiting for us. Hey, you kept me waiting. Ready to set sail to one island? No! Oh, you're still not done yet? Yeah, he'll be a little pushy about it, but I think that's probably just his personality. He's rich, give him a break. He doesn't know how to talk to the lower class. Hello Internet, welcome back to another episode of Pokemon Generation 1. In the last episode, we defeated Blaine here in Cinnabar Island and did everything else we could do up until that point between the last gym and this one. Except for the things we didn't do, which we're going to be doing in this episode. But first, I need to get Farfetch'd, so I shouldn't have left the Pokemon Center. We're going to be starting off today in Cerulean City. In this episode, we're really just going to be showing everything we can do around the Kanto region up until our 8th gym battle. Instead of just what's between our 8th gym battle and our 7th, because frankly, when this video was originally being planned, I had already done, like, the power plant and all that, like, before the 7th gym. As it turns out, not much to do between the 7th and 8th gym in that case, so I actually just moved stuff around so I'd be able to do it in this order. Realizing a complication that's gonna make me need to fly to Viridian City now. Great. I need to catch a Poliwhirl. You know what we're doing. I know what we're doing. Glad we can agree on that. In this house, we can trade this old man. Do you happen to have a Poliwhirl? Would you agree for a trade for my Jinx? I would. Here we go. Poliwhirl will be sent to Dante. Cool name for this old guy. Got a nice look at the wireless adapter animation. Last time we saw this animation was the link cable one. Zinx. That's definitely not what she was named in Red and Blue. Pretty sure she was named Lola or something in that game. Thanks! You're welcome. Holding mail. I was not aware of this. What does it say? That's a healthy Jinx. Be kind to it. Okay. Sure, Dante. Awesome. Let's go over Jinx real quick, because there's lots to say. Fab mail. Awesome. Jinx is a Pokemon with few straight-up counters, but low defenses to make up for that. Jinx has several options open to it. It can set up using Calm Mind, then sweep with Ice Beam and Psychic. It can trap foes with Mean Look, outright preventing them from switching out, then use the same setup and sweep. It can use Fake Tears to lower the special defense of its foes by 2 whole stages. All of these are bolstered by its signature move Lovely Kiss, a normal-type clone of Sleep Powder. However, if Lovely Kiss misses, this leaves Jinx wide open to attacks, and while its special defense is certainly not bad, its defense very much is. Any decently powerful physical move will spell the end for Jinx, making it pretty much the definition of a glass cannon. Jinx will be very strong in the situations where it does manage to put foes to sleep, but when it misses that Lovely Kiss, it can be devastating. Anyway, thank God I do not have to give the disclaimer about its art anymore. You cannot deposit a Pokemon in the PC that's holding mail. I forgot about that. That's annoying. So we can take its mail and send it to the PC. Once we do that, if we go into the PC, we can check Winter's PC, or whatever your player name is, and go to the mailbox. You'll be able to see any mail that you've stored there. So, what was this? I am going to make a drink and get angry? When did I write this? What? Okay, we can also read the one from Dante. Mail is a funny mechanic. I don't completely know why they felt the need to implement it, but I'm glad they did, because there's some funny stuff you can write. Anyway, I want to get this level 40 Slowpoke I got from the Safari Zone, I think, into my party. I did not want to deposit Chiding, but that's fine. I just want to do this real quick. We can technically catch Slowbro already on Cinnabar Island using the Super Rod. I believe it's a 4% encounter rate, but we already have a level 40 Slowpoke. Let's just use a rare candy and evolve it now. We need this for the next thing I'm doing, so might as well get it out of the way. Our next objective takes us to Fuchsia City, which has the same music as Cerulean, so it didn't have to transition, and I think that's pretty cool. In Pokemon Red and Blue, Fly, like, cuts off the music entirely until you land, so it's a cool, like, fun little addition that it doesn't fade out if a place has the same music. I'm looking for the Pokemon Slowbro. Want to trade one for my Lickitung? I don't, but I have to. In Pokemon FireRed, he will trade a Golduck for Lickitung, because Slowbro and Golduck were made into version exclusives in FireRed and LeafGreen. Slowbro will be sent to Hayden. Unfortunately, catching a level 40 Slowpoke isn't common, so giving it away like this is kinda sad. Especially for something as gross as Lickitung. It's still named Mark for some reason. Oh, hi, Mark. Hey, thanks! Yeah, you would say that. You got a pretty sick deal there, asshole. Lickitung. 01239. I figure I should probably mention, all trade Pokemon in Fire Red and Leaf Green have a set nature and set IVs. Which make it so they're pretty consistent every time you get them. They also have set contest stats, which are only relevant in Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire and Emerald, but they do have them. Anyway, let's go over this fucking freak. Lickitung! It doesn't get less disgusting. Rest, Shadow Ball, Return, Earthquake. I hate this freak. We're moving on. With that, we are going to finally head south of Fuchsia City onto Route 19. We haven't actually been here yet, even though there were trainers we could have fought earlier. I am probably not going to be showing a lot of Route 19. There's nothing interesting about it whatsoever until you get to the Seafoam Islands. Tentacruel can't even appear in the wild here anymore, so don't expect to see much of this area, but I figure since we're going to be taking on the last gym, we may as well fight every possible trainer that we've, like, not fought up to this point. Because we're already kind of underleveled, I could already tell from our fight with Blaine, and we're already missing out on EXP that you'd normally get in a playthrough of this game since we aren't going to one island right away. So, I gotta do whatever I can to make up for that. You'll have a heart attack. True. Okay. I'll cut ahead to the next interesting thing, even if that happens to be getting to Seafoam Islands. Gaster grew to level 39 and is learning Destiny Bond. This is a move that makes it so if the user faints, the foe who delivers the final hit also faints. Only if Destiny Bond is used before the user on the same turn or the turn immediately before. This move can be devastating, but it's usually not the best on a Pokemon like Gengar. The best user of this is Wobbuffet because of Shadow Tag, making it so the opponent can't escape. But unfortunately, the opponent can just switch out when a Pokemon like Gengar is using it, unless you have Mean Look, but I'm not getting rid of Metronome. I know what I'm getting rid of Confuse Ray for already, and I know what I'm getting rid of Shadow Punch for already. Psychic's permanent. C Route 19. So it's still considered a separate C route by that one sign, at least. I don't know if I mentioned this in Generation 1, but I first played Pokemon through Generation 1, so since these routes were always called, like, C Route 19, C Route 20, all that, I've just always had it stuck in my head that these aren't Route 19 and Route 20, they're C Route 19 and C Route 20. Of course, I know now that's not the case, but yeah, you're most impressionable as a kid. Umi grew to level 40 from beating this guy's Shelder. No new moves or anything there, at least. Got another Sis and Bro trainer, like, double battle here. It's a pretty rare trainer class, so the fact that there's 2 of them in pretty quick succession is notable, I guess. The battle itself isn't, though. Rhyme grew to level 39 for beating her Sea King. Gaster grew to level 40 thanks to the experience share. New trainer class, technically, even though we've already seen it in double battle, Swimmer Female. This trainer class did not exist in Generation 1. Instead, whenever you fought a woman in the water, it was a beauty, so good on Game Freak for changing that, I guess. Ryan grew to level 40 from beating one of these female swimmers, Staryus. Heket grew to level 41 for meeting another one's Poliwag and is trying to learn Growth. This is a move that increases the special attack stat by a single stage. It's okay, but I don't think it's worth teaching right now. I haven't used Poison Powder a single time in a while. I'm going to get rid of Growth pretty soon for Sunny Day, probably, but whatever, I'll take it. Why not? I haven't used Poison Powder in a long-ass time. Ninetales grew to level 41 from meeting this other female swimmer's last Pokemon. As you can see, having the experience share and 2 lucky eggs, we're going to be getting level ups a lot faster, which, yeah, we're probably not going to have too much trouble getting caught up at this rate. Heket grew to level 42 from meeting this lady, Seadra. We're using Metronome! Withdraw. Gaster, are you feeling alright? You haven't really... Well, actually, nope, strategic! You knew it was going for Leer, you knew you had to get your defense up so it wouldn't actually drop it. And now you're dropping its defense in revenge. Excellent. An excellent move, as always, Gaster. Because now that you've lowered its defense, you're going to be able to easily take it out with Egg Bomb! See? He always has a plan when he's using Metronome. You just gotta trust the process. He used Explosion! He's exhausted. He didn't want to have to be here for this fight. Finally made it to the Seafoam Islands, went back to heal at one point. Strong trainers and water Pokemon are common sights in these parts. They say that Misty, the Cerulean Gym, trains here. Cool. I thought you were going to be a trainer, but you weren't. There's one more trainer here, it looks like, though, who loves floating with the fishes here among the waves. Well, have I got a test for you and your Sea King? Gaster, let him have it. Present. Present? Oh, that's definitely the high roll. Present is a move that has a chance of either healing the target, doing low damage, middling damage, or high damage. I definitely got high damage there with how much that did from Gaster's physical attack stat. And Tri-Attack to finish it off. You get to see just how many normal type moves there really are. Alright. I'm having fun with Metronome already, so I don't regret this at all. Want to float with me? No, not really. Seafoam Islands. True. Welcome to the Seafoam Islands. Okay. This is still basically just one really long and elaborate strength puzzle. There is a big pearl to watch out for on the second basement floor and a hidden nugget on the fourth basement floor. So maybe I'll find those, maybe I won't. Here are the encounters in the Seafoam Islands. Golbat is a fast physical attacker with middling stats just about everywhere else, and even its speed and attack aren't that good. Don't take this as me saying Golbat is unusably bad or anything, though. Through TM alone, it can use Aerial Ace, Toxic, Hidden Power, Confuse Ray, Steel Wing, and Giga Drain. And through level up at level 49, it even gets Poison Fang, which is about the best Poison-type move you can ask for prior to the post-game. Poison Fang has a 30% chance not to poison, but to badly poison opponents, giving it a very rare added effect that you'll never see outside of Toxic. Now, obviously, it's not all roses with Golbat. It can't evolve into Crobat until the post-game, meaning it's stuck with the stats you see now until then. And while it has several notable resistances and an immunity to ground, its weaknesses are equally as plentiful. You'll find that you're going to need to switch Golbat out often, and it's up to you to weigh that fact when deciding if you like Golbat enough to use on a team. It's not unusable, but it's a victim of what feels like FireRed and LeafGreen being afraid to be remakes prior to the post-game. Seal isn't worth talking about since it appears in the same area as its evolved form. Catch it for Pokedex completion, or if you want it to learn Ice Beam at level 41 instead of 51, but otherwise, just go for Dugong. Dugong is a staple bulky water type. Using Rest and Toxic along with Leftovers, it's able to effectively wall many opponents due to its high HP and special defense, along with a solid defense stat as well. Thick Fat also makes it an ideal switch into Ice-type moves and eliminates its neutral interactions with Fire-type, subtracting one of the resistances lost by its evolution into a Water-Ice type. The issue is, Dugong is still a Water-Ice type. Its weaknesses are plentiful and common: Fighting, Rock, Grass, and Electric, and Dugong really doesn't have a way to deal with the majority of these threats. Dugong isn't bad, but it's definitely going to need some support if you plan to use it on a team. Golduck is a decently powerful special attacker blessed with access to Calm Mind to boost its special stats and allow it to deal good damage with whatever moves you may give it, along with Cloud9 as a potential ability to stop any potential weather strategies your foes may employ. They don't really employ those in this game, but you know what? There is still a use for this. We've seen time and time again that many grass and fire type Pokemon rely on sunlight to perform at their best at the expense of the effectiveness of any water types. Golduck is the only water type uniquely equipped to avoid this problem, straight up deleting weather effects upon switch in. This isn't to say Golduck is invincible or anything. Its move pool is still pretty limited, with Surf, Hydro Pump, and Psychic being its strongest options, and its defenses aren't that high compared to many other Pokemon we've seen up to this point. But for the fact that it can synergize well with Chlorophyll users alone, I'd argue Golduck is still an excellent choice for a team member in this particular game. Slowbro is still an excellent Pokemon with fantastic bulk all around and a strong special attack stat to boot, allowing it to safely switch into many foes, set up with Calm Mind, and sweep with Psychic, Ice Beam, Surf, and more. On top of this, Slowbro is also a decent enough user of Substitute and Focus Punch thanks to its low speed and decent bulk. That's pretty gimmicky in this particular scenario though, probably stick to the normal special attacking set. Slowbro's main weaknesses lie in its vulnerabilities to Ghost and Dark type moves, weather and status effect damage, and two abilities that realistically do very little to either help or hinder it. But when that's the worst thing I can think to say about it, there really must not be much bad to say about it, huh? The encounters in here are ridiculous. I have encountered so many Pokemon already. I did go ahead and sort my items at least a little bit. It is a little annoying because every time I take away the lucky egg or experience share, I end up having to go all the way back to the bottom because it automatically puts items in the last slot in your bag. This is something to be solved more by putting items in the PC than anything else, though. Where does this lead? To an item. A water stone. Okay, maybe this is the one I was talking about before. I wasn't talking about one before, so no, it's not. I don't know. I didn't have that written in my notes, but it was easy to get to, so whatever. Okay. This current will drag you somewhere, down that waterfall, probably. I'm gonna keep the repel off because I think we probably have a higher chance of encountering Seal or Dugong now, which are Pokemon I do need to catch, speak of the devil. I only really need to catch Seal. I'm not too worried about catching a Dugong, but I am trying to still remain a little on top of Pokedex completion, not necessarily because, like, oh, I'm gonna 100% the Pokedex again, but I don't know, I want to catch as many Pokemon as I can, and if that ends up becoming completing the Pokedex, then so be it. The protruding horde on its head is very hard. It is used for bashing through thick icebergs. If only he was aboard the Titanic. Okay, we got our fun little strength puzzle here, the one that actually requires you to use your brain. I think we have to move this one up, this one down here. I'm going to move that there, go up here so I can move this real quick, which means I can move this here. And I can move up and push this down. I can push this over here and push that down. Okay. Now if we go down, the current is blocked off. All right. Sick. I wasn't expecting to actually manage that on first try, but I did, so I'll take it. Ultra Ball down here. Boulders might change the flow of water. I'm aware, I just did it on the first try before even coming down here. I don't care what order you want me to come down here, game developers. Heading up here. Can push this rock. I don't know what this is for. Maybe I'll be able to see if I go back down, like, after pushing this, instead of just following it down the hole. Okay, that's to block off another current, apparently. I didn't know about that. Can I find where I'm supposed to, like... Okay. Well, that's giving me more to think about than I want in the Seafoam Islands. I know what I'm here for, and I know what you'd be here for, too. And what that is in this little lake here. You know what to do. I'm going to check the recording and save before I do anything here. Alright, recording seemed fine. What's my team looking like? As far as, like, catching things goes. It's looking like Hiket is really our best, like, Pokemon for catching. I think what I'll do is I'll have Gaster be the one to try and weaken this thing, and then I will have Hiket actually do the, like, putting to sleep and throwing balls, because I know this thing has moves that Hiket should be very scared of. Let's go. Encounter music for legendary Pokemon is new to FireRed and LeafGreen. As is the new battle theme, which is just a pitched up version of the normal wild Pokemon battle theme. Wild Articuno appeared! Thank you to Anthony P for this artwork. I'm reusing this from Generation 1 because why wouldn't I? Articuno, while definitely not quite as feared as it was in Generation 1, is still an absolutely destructive force in the right hands. It comes knowing Ice Beam, the strongest Ice-type move with 100% accuracy, and it's an excellent user of Rest to stall out opponents due to its absolutely absurd defensive stats of 100 in defense and 125 in special defense, paired with a 90 in its HP. Articuno is also an excellent user of Roar, using it to force opponents to switch out before they can finish setting up with moves like Swords Dance or Calm Mind. Articuno is an excellent user of the Leftovers item we picked up earlier on as well, using it to restore a good chunk of HP even when it isn't going out of its way to heal up. Articuno's weaknesses are what you would expect of a Pokemon with its typing. It has many weaknesses. Fire, Electric, Rock, and Steel are all super effective on Articuno, and Fire, Electric, and Rock are all relatively common attacking types. Articuno can likely eat up a Fire or Electric attack, but one good hit from a Rock-type move will definitely spell the end for a Pokemon with Articuno's typing. Other than that, Articuno is an extremely powerful tank, and I can highly recommend it for that purpose. Okay. I'm gonna go for Shadow Punch just to test the waters with how much damage we're gonna be doing here. Okay. So even a crit wouldn't do too much with that. Okay, Gaster. I see you do not have the special defense stat that you used to. Articuno and all legendary Pokemon have a catch rate of only 3, so 3 out of 255 to be specific. So, you know, you're gonna be here a while, so make sure your team is, like, prepared to be taking hits while you're just throwing Pokeballs, because this thing can do a lot of damage. It may not be as strong as it used to be thanks to the special stat split, but it's still pretty strong, especially when it's raising its speed like this. It can take out a lot of Pokemon. Case in point, just took out Gaster. I thought about going for Metronome to hope for, like, Spore or something, but there's like a 0% chance that that works out the way I want it to. Umi. The reason you save in front of a legendary is because it will not respawn for quite a long time after this encounter. If ever. I don't know if it actually does in this game at all, so, you know. save in front of it, just in case. That way, if you fail to catch it, you can just reset and try again. Mind Reader. That's a move that makes it so the next move used will always hit. Articuno gets this and Sheer Cold. That's another, like, silly little strategy you can give to Articuno. I'm really just spamming Aurora Beam. I don't think an attack drop would make a huge difference here. I'm gonna go for one more, risk the crit. Which, famous last words. Okay, thank God. It seems content to just use anything other than an attacking move on Umi, maybe because Ice Beam is not very effective on it. And of course, as soon as I switch, it's going for Ice Beam into a Pokemon that cannot take an Ice Beam. Okay, I guess I am not inflicting a status condition on this thing, which means our time is very limited here. Annabelle, I'm going to send you all out in order of effectiveness against this particular thing. Ultra Balls are the best I'm willing to do. I could throw a Master Ball, but there is a much, much better use for the Master Ball than any of the legendary Pokemon that originally appeared in Generation 1 in this game, so I'm not going to be using that here. 1, 2. Okay, that was pretty good early on. Why is it only using Agility? It's not out of Ice Beam PP. It's only used Ice Beam, like, 3 times, I think, so I do not know what it is doing. At this point, it's really just a matter of throwing Pokeballs at it, so I mean, I don't got much else to say. It's taking aim. Why aren't you using Ice Beam? Ice Beam would even be super effective. I try not to speed up when I'm doing things like this, where I know I'm going to be keeping the majority of it in the video, just because having sped up footage in a video looks kind of trashy to me, and I just try to avoid it where I can. It's obviously not going to be cut out 100% of the time, but I do it when I can. But the button is always so tempting during legendary encounters like this. Ryan, what moves do you even have? Nothing that I'm willing to use, I'm sure, but yeah, attacking moves and Swagger. Swagger is far too dangerous here. And even if I did use it, it would have no beneficial effects whatsoever. If it hit itself, it faints. If I raise its attack stat, and then it doesn't hit itself, it's just still attacking the same as it always would, so I don't know what I would even... Why would I use Swagger? One thing you do have to keep in mind with legendary Pokemon in Generation 3 is their PP. In Generation 1, legendary Pokemon have unlimited PP. Just wild Pokemon in general have unlimited PP, and so do trainer-owned Pokemon that aren't yours. In Generation 1, only you are bound by the restrictions of PP unless you're playing in multiplayer. That is not the case in Generation 3. Everything has PP, including enemies, and this makes it so legendary Pokemon can knock themselves out with struggle if you take too long to catch them, which is brutal. In Articuno's case, it seems unwilling to do anything other than nothing. 1, 2, of course. Oh, there goes Ice Beam. How much will that do to Rhine? Not a knockout. Impressive, Rhine. Considering he's the newest member of the team, so he's not all EV'd up, and he's 10 levels lower. And coming from a really high special attack stat. I mean, that's pretty impressive. Not even one. Not even one. Not even one. Ryan finally fainted. On to Lamp. I could use Grudge just to be funny. I'm not gonna, though. I don't have time to be funny. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Lamp is the lucky Pokemon I see. Good to know. A legendary bird Pokemon that is said to appear to doomed people who are lost in icy mountains. That's the same as its entry in Generation 1, so I guess I'm still doomed. We don't nickname legendary Pokemon around these parts. We could just use an escape rope to get out of here, especially since we've already been to Cinnabar Island, but it only feels right to get out of here the old-fashioned way, which is this ladder and this ladder. Or not. Well, maybe it is. Who knows? Where will this bring me? Somewhere that is not there. Danger, fast current. I'm aware. I'm just back here. Okay. How do I get out of here? Okay, I'm going up the ladder towards the entrance of this floor. I feel like I have to be missing something as far as stopping this current goes. And I will figure it out what if it kills me. Did I never go up this ladder? I did. That's where I got a water stone. Oh, it's this. I'm gonna use strength here. Push it down. Go after it. Dangerous as it always feels to do that. Strength again. Kind of still sucks they had to reactivate it every floor, but at least it's just like you can press A on an interactable object now and it'll bring up a prompt. Over here, I feel like there has to be something here. Come on. Maybe not. Where am I? Oh, I'm back at like the... Am I? Where am I? Where am I? I feel like I'm back at like the entrance of Seafoam Islands now, which is not where I want to be, but good to know. I'm looking for a very specific entrance, which I think I can now reach. Oh, that's cool. The ground here is like wet because there used to be water here and we stopped it by stopping the flow of water. That's neat. Neat attention to detail. Because up here it's not wet. That's cool. See, it's little details like that that make this game so special in comparison to like other remakes. This may not be like the most glamorous remake of all time, but it has enough details that it's cute. Seafoam Islands, alright. We're now on the Cinnabar Island side, which means there's really nothing to do here other than fight a bunch of trainers and get back to Cinnabar Island, which is a good plan. I need to heal my team. Alright, surfing back to Cinnabar Island, there's really not much to talk about on the way back. It's just a pretty straight path through this route, and there's a lot of trainers to fight, so lots of experience to get. Gotta head to the next interesting thing. Lamp grew to level 42 from beating this bird keeper Sphero. He said he flew here on his Pokemon, which means he's a hacker because you can't do that. That's against the law. Gaster grew to level 41 from beating this female swimmer's Cloyster. I almost said Shelder, but they are very different Pokemon. Not very, I guess. One evolves into the other, but you know. You know what I mean. Don't you misconstrue my words. Finally made it back to Cinnabar Island, so I don't know why I walked away from the Pokemon Center. I need to get Farfetch'd. Actually, while we're here in the Pokemon Center, let's check out our Articuno. Quiet Nature. I'm not sure what that does. Let me check. Quiet increases special attack and reduces speed. That's fine. Increasing special attack isn't bad. Lowering speed is kinda bad. Otherwise, this is just a normal Articuno. Okay, cool. Chiding is who I want. Next up, we are gonna fly right to Route 10, because that's possible in this generation, thank God. Now that I've got my full party, you know where we're going. I know where we're going. Pretty convenient that we all know what's going on. I'm gonna go ahead and just surf down here. Alright, we finally made it to land, and there's a trainer to fight here. Wow, you came all the way here. Maybe you're a Pokemaniac too. Want to see my collection? If your collection includes a Lickitung, L, you suck. Okay, Rhyhorn. I remember in Generation 1 I was confused on how this guy even managed to get here because his Pokemon don't know Surf. And I managed to justify it in my own head as Rhyhorn can learn Surf, so... Cancelled on Twitter.com. L plus milk drink. Holy shit! The world's first good use of knockoff. Although it's kind of just an asshole move because the Lucky Egg wasn't doing anything for me. Gaster's pissed. He's going for the Sky Uppercut. Okay. I was not expecting knockoff. I hope that doesn't work in a way that's really mean. Hydro Pump is a great move for Gaster. Okay. Gaster grew to level 42, being that Lickitung. Huh, I'm not angry. Okay, I am. Thank God. I was not 100% certain if I would get that Lucky Egg back. I know that I know how it works in future generations. Where like, yeah, it's gonna give you the Lucky Egg back. If it didn't, that's a fucking dick move, but you can never be too sure. Okay. Power plant. The abandoned power plant, to be precise. Welcome. In the power plant, there are several new Pokemon to catch, most of which are pretty good. You know how Electrode and Voltorb function in here, hopefully, and if you don't, you'll see in the footage. Magneton is the first encounter I come across. Okay, let's go over the Pokemon now. I'm gonna try to catch this because I want to spray a Repel as soon as possible. Electrode is the fastest Pokemon in the Kanto region, and it can use this speed to great effect as a potential revenge killer. It's so fast that it can get Toxic off on any foes, set up a substitute to give itself some breathing room, fire off relatively strong Thunderbolts, and then explode to take out any potential walls on your opponent's team. Electrode isn't invincible by any means. Its defenses are weak, and it can't deal too much damage with anything outside of Explosion. But when Electrode works, it really works. It also helps that its only weakness is ground, giving it ample opportunity to exist in any given battle. Electrode certainly isn't the best electric type, but it is the fastest, and that definitely counts for something. Raichu doesn't appear in the wild here anymore, but I forgot it when Thunderstones became available, so here we go. Raichu's best quality is that once you reach the move relearner, who we already have access to if you head to one island with Bill earlier than I am, it can learn Thunderbolt right away without the need for an expensive TM. Beyond this, Raichu is about as standard as an electric type can get. It gets Iron Tail, Brick Break, and Dig for coverage through TM, and can fire off pretty strong stab-boosted Thunderbolts. Hidden Power Grass also gives it an out against ground-type foes if you get lucky. Raichu's not perfect, but it's good enough. And who can resist a winning smile like that? Magnemite, the Kanto region's only Steel-type line. Cannot learn a single Steel-type move other than Metal Sound, and you only get access to that through the move relearner. On top of that, we can already catch its evolution in the same area. Poor guy can't catch a break. Magneton is actually one of the strongest Pokemon in all of Generation 3 though, believe it or not. Its ability Magnet Pull makes it an excellent killer of Steel types. Though as we just went over, Magnemite and Magneton are the only Steel types in Kanto, so much for that, but it can also eliminate many bulky foes with powerful stab Thunderbolts from its monstrous special attack of 120, alongside moves like Hidden Power, Toxic, Thunderwave, and Substitute to allow it to hinder or annoy its foes outside of its raw damage. Did I mention that Magneton also resists 12 types and has an immunity to Poison-type attacks? Yeah, Magneton is solid. Keep it out of the way of fire and ground-type moves, and it's a good answer to most opponents. Electabuzz has high attacking stats, good special defense, and a great speed stat, allowing it to move fast and hit hard with an immense variety of moves. Thunderbolt, Psychic, Brick Break, Iron Tail, Thief, Hidden Power, hell, it's even already using Substitute and Focus Punch. Its low defense does leave it vulnerable to all sorts of physical attacks, not just the ground types it's weak to, but with its vast move pool, it can definitely have its place on any given team so long as you know to pick its battles. I am hoping to God this thing does not have Explosion because, my strategy for catching it is just confusing it with Swagger and throwing a ball. I do not trust its defenses to hold out. So far it seems content just using Sonic Boom, which is a fixed 20 HP of damage. I also would preferably like to catch this pretty fast because I'm running low on Ultra Balls and I forgot to restock before coming here, so I'm gonna hope for the best. I could use Great Balls, but Ultra Balls are more likely to work, and I want to stick with them for that reason when I can. Okay. Thank God, and I already caught Voltorb earlier, so I no longer need to worry about catching anything in here. It stores electric energy under very high pressure. It often explodes with little or no provocation. Could you imagine if we had animals like that in real life? That, like, combust and explode? I know there are, like, plants and stuff that can explode under, like, high enough pressure, but like, it's gotta be scarier with Pokemon like Electrode that literally, like, it's a fiery explosion. Okay, continuing along. They changed the music here between Generation 1 and Generation 3. The music used to be the music that plays in the Rocket Hideout. It's now the music from Pokemon Mansion. TM25 Thunder. Okay, that's an interesting move. Whereas Thunderbolt is the best electric-type move in the game, this is kind of the budget version. It's much stronger, but much less accurate. Same as Blizzard for ice types or Fire Blast for fire types. A brutal lightning attack that may also leave the foe paralyzed. 120 power, 70 accuracy. Actually, I am curious. Can anyone learn that? Gaster... Okay, so I am planning to teach Gaster Thunderbolt. But until then, maybe Thunder isn't an awful idea. I still have to get Thunderbolt, which is a lot of grinding in the game quarter that I'm probably going to do between this and the next episode. Or during the next episode, who knows? I think having Thunder in the meantime, just as a budget option for that, is pretty cool. I didn't want to give that to Tauros, because Tauros' special attack is abysmal, and I just don't think he'll get great use out of that. Anyway, I missed a room. I think it's the same room I missed last time I played this. Well, when I played Red and Blue and Yellow. You know. You know what I mean. Heading north here. That'll give us a way in. Pretty sure this is a Pokemon, the one back here is an item. Elixir. Right. Are you a Voltorb? No, you're TM17 Protect. Good thing I checked. Protect always moves first and prevents all damage to the user. This is more useful in double battles, as it can be used to straight up protect one of your Pokemon while the other attacks. It's good if you're able to predict what your opponent is going to do. But in singles, it can be used to stall your opponent for, like, their PP, if that matters to you. Doesn't have the most utility ever in single battles, but you can use it if you want to. Which I guess goes for most moves. You can use it if you want. Alright, what's up here? I know one of these is an Electrode, which is this one, probably. Yep. I no longer care what happens to you. I have already caught one of you. But I will try to defuse you before you can blow up Rhine. Hell yeah. Return is so strong now. I think it's at its maximum power. Annabelle grew to level 41. Awesome. And it fades out and disappears like it's a person. Thunderstone. Pretty good, considering we just went over Raichu, and that's the only way to get a Raichu. And Pikachu can appear here, so pretty convenient if you want to add one to your team at a pretty high level. And since you already technically have access to the move relearner, you can just go ahead and teach it Thunderbolt that way without needing to wait for Pikachu to level up. Nothing down here, really? Okay, I've been really disappointed with the lack of hidden items in places where they look like they should be. Alright, same deal as last time, stopping the recording and checking before I do anything else. Also, creating a save state before I even bother doing that, because I do not trust the emulator right now. Do not crash right now. Are you fucking kidding? Any inconsistencies you notice are because, yes, the emulator did the funniest possible thing and crashed as soon as I opened the save state menu. We're good. I did have to replay all of that stuff we already did in this episode, like up to like saving in front of Articuno twice. But it's fine. I'm fine. Everything's fine. Everything rules. I'm having a great time. Okay. Zapdos. Wild Zapdos appeared. Zapdos is one of the best Pokemon in the game, and this was genuinely the case until Generation 5, when a Pokemon of its type finally appeared. A better Pokemon of its type, even. For now, though, as far as the game is concerned, Zapdos is a god. While you can't teach it Thunderbolt without grinding to get the TM at the game corner, it comes knowing Drill Peck, gets Shockwave through TM if you manage to save it for long enough, gets Thunderwave and Agility to ensure it will never move last, and can learn Light Screen, Thunderwave, Toxic, Thunder, and more to support its allies. On top of this, its speed stat of 100 already allows it to outspeed most opponents, and its typing allows it some extremely useful immunities and advantages, particularly its immunity to the ground type and its advantage over water types, which make up at least 20% of the Kanto region's Pokedex. There are very few Pokemon that outspeed it. Jolteon, which opponents won't use, Aerodactyl, which opponents won't use, and Starmie, which Zapdos has an advantage and which easily can't switch into Zapdos. Zapdos isn't invincible. Its defensive stats are definitely worse than those of its brothers, and it can take Rock or Ice type moves very well. But with the amount of resistances and advantages Zapdos has, that's a limitation that can very easily be overlooked. Okay, this is gonna be very hard. I don't want to use Swagger because I know this thing comes knowing Drill Peck. So hopefully Return doesn't do too much. Since I was replaying everything, I did have a chance to restock on Ultra Balls at least, so we do have a little less than 50 with the things I caught on the way up to Zapdos, but it should still be fine. Return did not do too much, although if we crit here, I think it kills. So don't crit, please, Ryan. Coming with Thunderwave is nice too. Zapdos might be nice even if you just needed to, like, help you catch a Pokemon or something. It's -1 attack, so Swagger would technically only bring it up to +1. I don't want to risk it killing itself though. Yeah, I'll just start throwing balls. I don't feel safe hitting this thing again. Especially not from Ryan's attack stat, so here we go. We have to start throwing balls early today. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you a brief summarization of exactly what I went through for the next 30 minutes. Because I could not possibly include it all in this video because I don't want this video to be that long. 1, 2, 2, 2, 1, 2. It's 2 every time now. 1. Finally took out Ryan. Took a while. 1. Okay. 1. 1. 1. 1! Oh, not even 1 that time. As soon as I'm gonna make a funny joke, of course. Fucking dick. 1. The loneliest fucking number. Because it's a pain in the ass and nobody likes it. Lamp is dead. I am down to my last Ultra Ball. Not even one. I have used almost 50 Ultra Balls on this thing, and it still isn't caught. That's how annoying these things can get in Generation 2 and onwards. 3 as an encounter rate is bullshit. Not an encounter rate, but a catch rate. It's bullshit, and I hate it, and I love it. I'm down to my last Pokemon. It outspeeds, it has Drill Peck. I think it just kills. It doesn't. It's struggling. That's how many fucking turns this has taken. Save yourself! Get in the damn ball, Zapdos! It beat me with fucking struggle. That's embarrassing. No! I wasted my Master Ball, which means I'm resetting again. At this point, I have easily thrown over 100 Ultra Balls at a well-weakened Zapdos. I'm well over odds as far as, like, catching this goes. I should have caught it by now. 1, 2, 3. No! I'm fine. Last Ultra Ball. 1, 2. Spilled water all over myself. 1, 2. At least he's getting the right number for the number in his name. It's struggling. 1, 2. I am so sick. I don't have any fucking shame about it anymore. I'm speeding up. This is not worth trying without speed up at this point. How many balls in a row has it broken without a single shake? Wasted the fucking Master Ball again. Finally! My recording for just the battle with Zapdos trying to catch this freak is 40 fucking minutes. That is with speeding up the past 3 attempts. I have been here effectively for like 4 fucking hours. I wiped to Zapdos 7 times! Oh, please tell me I didn't just, like, miss-see that and I caught it with the fucking Master Ball. A legendary bird Pokemon that is said to appear from clouds while dropping enormous lightning bolts. Thank God! Please, please, please. Yes! I still have 8 Ultra Balls to spare! Oh my God! I never have to come here again! Yippee! Yippee! I'm fucking free! Let's see this bastard. Rash nature. I don't know what that does. I'm not gonna bother looking it up. I don't care. I hate this freak after today. Oh my God. I finally caught a Zapdos. Our last stop of the day is Viridian City, and for the sake of myself being able to get to work tomorrow on time, and for the sake of my roommate being able to sleep, I think I'm gonna call the first session for this recording here. It's midnight. Next time I record, I will go through the gym. Alright, we are back almost 24 entire hours later. Let's take on our last gym. It's about time. Had time to calm down from that goddamn Zapdos battle. Viridian's gym leader returned! Sure did. Wonder if the signs still spoil who he is. Leader question mark. They don't. Yippee! And Aiden is the only winning trainer. Yo, gym the making! Even I don't know the Viridian leader's identity. But one thing's certain, this will be the toughest of all the gym leaders. Also, I heard that the trainers here like ground-type Pokemon. So, I know in my last Let's Play of this game, I really... Well, not of this game, but of this region, I really didn't fight all the trainers in here because... To be frank, I wasn't hurting for experience, and also I had unlimited rare candies by this point in that Let's Play, so... Even if I was, who cares? I am going to go ahead and fight everyone this time, because we are hurting for experience a little bit. This game is definitely balanced around accepting Bill's offer to go to one island. There's stronger wild Pokemon and trainers there, and it's overall just a lot better for grinding than any one area in the Kanto region. But we only have the Kanto region thanks to the way I'm structuring this Let's Play, so we gotta, you know, do our best with what's handed to us. One trainer down. There's really no reason to fight these guys if you aren't planning on beating the gym. It's still a pretty straight path to the gym leader, but yeah, I need the experience. I think I'll actually just cut ahead to when I'm done fighting everyone in here. Most of them are optional, some of them aren't, but when I cut back, I will just show you the way to get to the end. Umi grew to level 41, beating this guy's Machoke. Warg. Mew and Annabelle grew to level 41, beating Tamer Jason's Rhyhorn. Ryan grew to level 41, beating this cool trainer's Nidoqueen. Cool trainers, by the way, are the ace trainers of the Kanto region. Annabelle grew to level 42, beating this guy's Tauros. Once learned Fury Swipes at level 42. Last trainer in here, Umi grew to level 42, beating his Nidorino. Once learned Haze. This is a decent move. It eliminates all stat changes. I don't think I'm going to go for it, though. I like having Bite as just a kind of competent Dark move, and I'm going to replace Aurora Beam with Ice Beam soon anyway, so who cares? Haze can be good in certain situations, but I don't think the AI actually sets up enough to warrant it. Ryan grew to level 42, beating the actual last trainer's Rhyhorn. It's not a different trainer than the last guy. He had 5 Pokemon, so it was just a long battle. Alright, here's how you get through the gym after you've beaten everyone, because the way is technically different depending on how many trainers you've beaten, because this black belt blocks your way if you haven't beaten everyone. Anyway, hello Giovanni. I made sure everybody has the items I want them to have. It's just Hicket with the Lucky Egg, Lamp with the Lucky Egg, and Annabelle with an experience share. 42 is pretty competent for this fight, I'd say. You'd probably be closer to 45 if we'd gone to the, you know, to one island, but we didn't go to one island, and I need to stop complaining about it because it was my choice. I chose not to go there. Let's do this. Welcome to my hideout. It shall be so until I can restore Team Rocket to its former glory. But you have found me again. So be it. This time I'm not holding back. Once more you shall face Giovanni, the greatest trainer. Leader Giovanni would like to battle. Slightly nicer way of phrasing his title than boss. Leading with Rhyhorn, level 45, ground rock type, lightning rod for the ability, knowing the moves Takedown, Rock Blast, Scary Face, and Earthquake. Razor Leaf is gonna one-shot this. It's a ground rock type. It does not stand a single chance against that. Alright. What's next? Dugtrio, okay. Dugtrio's level 42, ground type, Sand Veil for the ability, knowing the moves Slash, Sand Tomb, Mud Slap, and Earthquake. This could be a really good revenge killer if he just caught one with Arena Trap instead of Sand Veil, but sure, take advantage of that weather condition you don't have. Also, Hicket is faster? Okay. Sure, Annabelle grew to level 43, making her the highest level member of the team now. Nidoqueen is level 44, Poison Ground type, Poison Point for the ability. No, the moves Double Kick, Earthquake, Poison Sting, and Body Slam. Okay, I'll test the waters. I'll see how much Razor Leaf will do. I don't think it's gonna do too much, though. Nidoqueen's pretty bulky and it's neutral. There's Earthquake. Alright. I'm gonna switch out, I've decided. Into what? I am not sure. It's going for Earthquake. And Gaster is immune to Earthquake. And also all of its other moves except Poison Point, which it resists, so... Metronome time. Teleport. He doesn't want to be here. He realizes I'm trying to get him out of retirement with the whole Metronome World Champ thing. He wants out. Bone Rush. Okay, that's super effective. Still coming from that attack stat, but, you know. You can see he's still got it. He still knows what he's doing. What's next? Teeter Dance. Excellent. Confuse it. I agree. Good move. Now it can hit itself. Teeter Dance is an interesting, confusing move. It is the only confusing move that can confuse two Pokemon in a double battle, but it also confuses your ally, meaning it confuses everything in the field except the user. Recover. I agree. That 6 HP is going to be vital with his next Pokemon. Alright, how much PP do we have left? Okay, I'll use one more Metronome before going to Psychic. I agree. You need even more HP back. Excellent Gambit, Gaster. Moonlight is another interesting healing move. Well, status move. Moonlight restores more HP in sunny weather. It's because its name is different in Japan, and it's basically an identical move to another move that we got called Morning Sun. It's fine. It makes sense with the original Japanese name of the move, but... Anyway, Nidoking is level 45, Poison Ground type, Poison Point for the ability. No, the moves Double Kick, Earthquake, Poison Sting, and Thrash. Same deal as Nidoqueen. This thing can't really touch Gaster, so what do we got? Outrage! Hell yeah! Strong Dragon type damage. Sounds good to me. What is this gonna do? Nothing. 2 HP of damage, I think? Unless we were at full health, but I don't think we were. We are locked into Outrage now, and once Gaster decides to stop using it, we're going to be confused. Luckily, it looks like we got the full 3 turns, but we are still going to be confused because he healed up. It's fine. Hopefully this... Well, it won't, because it doesn't count for Outrage either. I was going to say, hopefully this doesn't count towards Metronome's PP, but it doesn't even count towards Outrage's PP when a Dragon type actually uses it, so... Double team. Okay, setting up. I see the vision, Gaster. Yeah, now he can't even hit you, so when you go to use another healing move, then you're in even more luck. Snore. Okay, well, he could have used Rest and then Snore, and then that would have been a bit more effective, but sure. What do we got? False Swipe. Are you trying to taunt it, Gaster? False Swipe is a move that always leaves the opponent with at least 1 HP. It's also pretty weak. I think it's... Morning Sun, too? We got Recover, Morning Sun, and Moonlight all in the same battle from Metronome. I think that is a good point to call it, considering we're out of PP for Metronome. Let's just take this thing out now. As you can see, Metronome is not as effective anymore as a result of the fact there are a lot more moves than there used to be. But it's still a lot of fun to just mess around with it. Rhyhorn, his final Pokemon, is level 50, Ground Rock type, Lightning Rod for the ability. No, the moves Take Down, Rock Blast, Scary Face, and Earthquake. Sound familiar? It's because it's the same as his last one, just 5 levels higher. In Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow, he has a Rhydon. For some fucking reason, they decided to replace it with a Rhyhorn to make him significantly less threatening, even though there is a non-zero chance you have a Rhydon at this point. I'm not a fan of this change. I think it's really stupid and kind of disappointing considering this is the last time we're going to be fighting Giovanni. But, sure. Wow, you're lowering my speed. Whatever will I do? Watch. I'm still gonna outspeed you when you actually move. He does have hyper potions. He is a gym leader in the Kanto region, so... You know how it is. Yeah, we still outspeed, even with our speed dropped by 2 stages, so... Okay. Cool. That was a truly intense fight. You have won. As proof, here is the Earth Badge. The Earth Badge makes Pokemon of any level obey without question. It is evidence of your mastery as a Pokemon trainer. With it, you can challenge the Pokemon League. Also, take this TM. Consider it a gift for your Pokemon challenge. TM26. TM26 contains Earthquake. It is a powerful attack that causes a massive tremor. I made it when I ran the gym here, far too long ago. Having lost in this fashion, I can't face my followers. I have betrayed their trust. As of today, Team Rocket is finished forever. As for myself, I shall dedicate my life to training again. Let us meet again someday. Farewell. Wow, I sure hope they don't do anything stupid in the next remake in this series to make that totally cheapened and stupid. On this tile where Giovanni was standing is another super secret item with the item finder. The item finder's shaking wildly. There's an item buried underfoot. Dug up a macho brace from deep in the ground. I don't know how we're digging into the tiled floor here, but okay. The Macho Brace is an interesting held item and a very, very good one to be getting, like, right before the Pokemon League. The Macho Brace doubles the EV gains of the Pokemon holding it, allowing for them to grow faster in exchange for having the speed of the holder. This is an excellent item if you're planning on specially training up any Pokemon before the Pokemon League. So I just want to say, it took me forever to realize that this is literally a training brace. Like the funny weights that anime characters take off when they're about to unleash their true power, or something like that. I don't watch a lot of anime. I just saw it in Inazuma 11, and I know it also happens in Naruto. Anyway. Pretty sure there are only 2 more of those items to show, only 1 more that you'd actually be able to find in normal gameplay, so we're doing pretty well. Blow me away! Giovanni was the gym leader of Viridian? I don't want to blow you away. I'm aware. Still no celebration party or anything outside the 8th gym. Can't all have Professor Junipers. Anyway, the TM that Giovanni gave us. I was so distracted by the Macho Brace that I forgot to even talk about it. We've already talked about it in a few bios though, I think you know what it is. TM26 Earthquake is the strongest ground-type move indisputably. 100 base power, 100 accuracy, hits all foes around the Pokemon. Including your ally, which is not a foe, but you know. This is incredibly powerful, especially in single battles, and I'm honestly torn between teaching it to Annabelle or teaching it to Ryan. Annabelle does not learn this through level up, and otherwise the best move she's going to have for the rest of the game is going to be Dig. But Ryan's moveset is really, really boring right now. I do think I'm going to give it to Annabelle, though. Having a 100 power stab move on Annabelle, that sounds pretty attractive to me. I'm gonna go ahead. Slash? No. Oh, no. Oh, I gotta replay all that now. Never let it be said that I'm not willing to replay large portions of a game to fix my damn mistakes. Because I just did it again for probably like the 3rd time while recording this episode. Goodbye, Dig. I don't know how I even managed to accidentally delete slash. I think I probably just fat-fingered the down key, but that sucked. Anyway, Annabelle knows Earthquake now. Any inconsistencies, you know the reason. I did want to bring one more thing up. Another use for the Macho Brace. I've brought up this strategy of using Substitute and Focus Punch a few times. This strategy really does rely on the user having low speed, so Substitute moves last. This guarantees that the Substitute will be taking the damage on the next turn, so Focus Punch can go through no matter what. Since this halves speed, this can be really useful for letting Pokemon, like, use this strategy. I'm really considering giving this to, like, maybe Annabelle, someone who can learn Focus Punch, because even, like, it has utility in that way, where it can even be good outside of that. Yeah, Annabelle is our only Pokemon that can learn Focus Punch that would be decent at using it. What else does she have? I'm curious, because I might want to replace Substitute. Or something with Substitute, I mean. We could replace Brick Break with Focus Punch. And then give her the Macho Brace to hold. This is stuff for a Winter who has been awake for less time to think about, but that is about double the power of Brick Break for a very simple strategy, so I'll definitely put some thought into that. Next time on Pokemon FireRed and LeafGreen, we are going to be heading back to Route 22 and heading to the Pokemon League to become the champion. Because we already were in Generation 1, but now we gotta work for it all over again. See you guys then!